So Apple's released their latest flagship phone, and a ton of people are either in the camp of they love it or they hate it. But that always happens when Apple introduces a new phone. Most people are either 100% Android or 100% Apple when it comes to their phones. There's a few in-betweeners such as myself that loves them both, but let's look at it from both sides, and then I'm going to tell you from my own professional opinion if I think you should buy this device or not. It has this beautiful AMOLED display manufactured from Samsung and designed by Apple. It has the highest nits of brightness of any phone out. Wireless charging, while some people still have not embraced the idea of going cordless for charging, it is a nice convenience option to have. This phone also includes fast charging and is capable of fast charging out of the box, but the bad news is that you have to either use an iPad charger or a faster USB Type-C charger with a USB Type-A to USB-C cable. Quick side note, I've been using iPad chargers for years with my iPhones, and it does produce faster charging and almost the same amount of speed as if you were to go out and buy the higher wattage Apple charger. Now the iPhone X has dual speakers just like the last generation of their phone. It gets really loud. It's actually one of the best speakers out there next to the Razer phone. This phone includes IP67 water resistance, so now you don't have to worry about going to a party and spilling some beer on it or dropping it in the toilet. The Face ID detection works extremely well. You can get your messages and swipe them away without even turning your screen on all the way, which is a cool benefit from it. I haven't had any issues with the Face ID regardless of lighting situations, complete darkness, anything. It's just as fast as my fingerprint sensors on all my other phones. The camera on this phone is top notch. It's one of the top 2 cameras on the planet, only in my eyes to be beat by the Google Pixel 2 XL. This camera with a 1.8 aperture lens will shoot 4K at 60 frames a second, slow motion at HD at 240 frames a second, and has optical image stabilization. It also has portrait mode for both the back and front facing cameras, which is exclusive to the iPhone X, and the camera has a dual lens system, and the second lens on the back is a 2.8 aperture lens, so it does allow for a nice smooth optical zoom if you're into reaching far away pictures. Now thanks to iOS 11, not necessarily the iPhone X, we can finally do screenshots, screen writes, and screen recording, which is some of the things that I really loved on some of the LG phones and other phones that are out there for Android. Now the battery life on this phone is amazing. I can get 6 to 8 hours on the phone with no issues, running at 50% brightness, surfing the web, watching some Netflix, playing some games, so it is one of the best battery devices out. Now the processor in this is the Bionic A11 chip, which of course is one of the most powerful processors for a phone on the planet, and on paper it's more powerful than the MacBook Pro base model, but how does it perform in the real world? The phone is fast, and I mean super fast, so the larger apps like games for example to open are just faster than any phone out right now. The system also allows you to run AR games without any stuttering or performance hits. So the new UI and interface feels incredibly advanced and much more fluid and fun to use than previous models. I'll leave a link down below if you want to learn how to master those advanced features and gestures. Now let's talk about some of the negatives. The replacement cost of the front screen is $299 if you don't have the Apple Care, and the back glass is $579. What the were you thinking, Apple? Some of the other cons, the display, it has that notch that you cannot unsee, and Matthew Moniz said it best here.
Have you ever seen a dog with its tail up in the air? You can stare directly at its asshole. That's what the notch reminds me of. It just stares at you, right in your face.
And unfortunately right now the apps are not designed to run with it in this way, so you mostly get black bars or things cut out of the view. It feels smaller because it is so narrow and you're not getting to use the full size of the screen. One of the cons of course is if you want to get the faster charging, you have to purchase the separate charger and cable. I'm not sure why this is not included in the box, because every other phone, if it has the capability for faster charging, it always has a faster charger in the box. One of the negatives of course is this tired interface on the home screen. I think Apple thinks we're all still robots here and they just want us to follow along with what they're doing. There's no headphone jack. Again, Apple has still decided to leave that out, which is a major bummer. Now sure, you could carry around those dongles all day everywhere you go, but who does that and when are you going to remember to do it? So it's still a problem for me about the no headphone jack. No expandable storage option. Yes, you can buy the phone with a 250 256 gig variant, and the other flavor is a 64 gig. But what happens if you bought a 64 gig, you run out of room? Well, now you can't upgrade. You have to sell the phone, take a loss, buy a bigger phone. Just remember that when you're purchasing your phone. There is no 128 gig option. It's 64 or 256. Availability, the phone is still hard to get, and it's back ordered right now. At least it's only back ordered now for 1 to 2 weeks, but still, you should be able to walk into a store and buy this phone. Overall, would I recommend this phone? Not right now. I think for $1,000 for the 64 gig or $1,200 for the 256 gig price, I think the price is just a little high. What I would recommend doing to either wait for the phone to come out with the next version, which will decrease the cost of this phone to you, or just buy it used and save yourself a couple $100. There's so many other phones right now out there that are just as good in quality, such as the Google Pixel 2 XL, or you could even get an iPhone 8 Plus. Probably had a really good discount now that the iPhone 10 is out, and that's a fantastic product. I'll leave a link down below with the full review on that. Or you could get something cheaper like the OnePlus 5T for $500, so it's half. You could buy two of them if you wanted for the same cost. So don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this phone. I still think it's one of the best phones of the year, but I just think the cost is really high, and if you're not completely sold on the Apple ecosystem or locked into using iOS, there's just better options out there. So let me know your thoughts on this. Did you get this phone? Do you plan on getting this phone? Did you skip it and get something else? Do you like Android better than iOS? I love to read your comments down below, and I try to answer as many of those as I can. So make sure to click that subscribe button for more daily content. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell and the thumbs up if you liked what you saw. That's going to do it for my video today. I'm Chad Christian, and I'll see you guys on the next video.